Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know, I'm Tristen Ross, and I'm the one who runs UndressTheJersey, which is a platform for athletes to share their story, and more specifically, the things that go on behind the sport themselves, like hardships and challenges and adversity, and basically everything that goes on within an athlete's journey within their sport. So you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I'm trying my TikTok game out, but still learning that. But the reason why I'm here today is I'm starting a new series called UndressTheStories, which is going to be a video series where I read the stories that have been shared on the page and give my 2 cents on them. So for the first episode, I want to take it all the way back to the original stories, why I started the page, the process of me starting it, how I felt starting it, and go from there. So thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching, and I hope you enjoy this video series of UndressTheStories. Let's get into the first one. So the first ever story was actually by me, and it's the whole reason why I started UndressTheJersey in the first place, because I looked at myself. I knew that I had a story that a lot of people didn't know about, and I wanted to share that. And I assumed I'm not the only one with a story through sports as well, so I started reaching out to others. But without further ado, this is my story. I never used to wear number 5. Ever since I could remember, I wore number 4 after my favorite player for the St. of X-Men, Christian T-Bear Upshaw. It wasn't until my junior year of high school that I switched to number 5, and it was for the same reason that I continued to push myself in life to become the best possible version of myself. When I was 13 years old, my mom passed away from cancer. It all happened in a very short couple of months, from her diagnosis to the morning she took her last breath. A lot has come of this experience for me. Within 8 months, I was attending boarding school in Vermont, where I was challenged in the classroom, on the court, and to grow into the young man that I am today. I've used this experience to achieve many accomplishments, and it will remain the reason I work hard and challenge myself in everything I do. The number 5 doesn't only represent my experience and the pain I've been through, but it is the day of my mother's birthday, September 5th. So that's my story, and I vividly remember going into the St. of X library, sitting down and writing this story out. And it was kind of an exciting, scary feeling, because I've never really shared or even thought of sharing my story like that before. I just think, especially for me with my number, I think that athletes take a lot of pride in the number that they wear, and they carry that number throughout their whole life. With that, I kind of wanted my number to represent something. I knew from that point on, every time I put on that jersey, that my mom was there with me. My challenges, struggles, happiness, all of that stuff was there with me. So that's the first story. Let's move on. The next story is from Allie F, a member of the St. of X track and field team. I was introduced to track and field at a young age, but seemed to have a natural talent for it. I can thank my parents for that, having an avid surfer as a dad and a mom who was a part of the provincial soccer team. The first year I was competitive with track, I won provincials. Since then, I stuck with it. After years of training with an amazing coach, Tanya Daniels, I had also won provincials in my senior year of high school, along with contributing to the championship banner. That year, I was recognized by Bernie Chisholm, the head coach of the St. of X track team, which led me to attend the university. Because I chose to attend St. of X, I have earned myself 8 AUS medals over the past 3 years, and have been able to have had the opportunity of attending U Sports National in my first and third year on account of relays. Not only have I been provided with unforgettable experiences, but I've also been privileged to be a part of the family that we call the St. of X track and field team. So that was the first story that I put myself out there and literally asked someone else to be a part of the page, and that for me was terrifying. I remember I was in my dorm room, second year. I was just on Instagram, and the way I do it, I just, I reach out, send a message, it goes down the DMs, and I just remember, hey Allie, like, I have this new page, this new project I'm working on. I was wondering if you wanted to share your story. And looking back at it, I had no reason to be afraid, because even today, everyone has been so supportive and interested. But even the ones who aren't, it's just a simple no, right? It's just another one of those life quotes of being like, the worst thing that can happen is they say no. But for Allie, to share her story means a lot, considering she was the first athlete. The thing that stuck out for me the most in the story is that she said, because I've gone to St. FX, I now have all these achievements. I think that just goes to prove the power of a program or a culture that's built, and especially for me being on the basketball team at X, I know that St. FX has this tradition of champions and that kind of stuff. So thanks for sharing, Allie. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this story is from Dejuan Martin. Dejuan played football for St. FX. The first couple of athletes that I featured on the page were St. FX athletes, mainly because they were people that I felt comfortable and that I knew that I could reach out to immediately, and they were mostly friends, so they were more than happy to help me out. So I remember the play like it was yesterday. During my sophomore year of high school, I caught a screen pass and took it 70 yards before being tackled, completely shattering my humerus bone. At this point in time, I was approximately 145 pounds and not friends with the weight room. Instead of wallowing in self-pity, I used this as motivation to become a better player. But more importantly, this taught me about myself and what it means to be persevering. I love football because I've learned so many things about life and myself. The road to success is not always a straight path, and you should take everything as a learning experience and an opportunity to grow. I don't know where I'd be without the game, so for that, I am forever thankful. So this story for me, again, I remember the moment I read it, and it was kind of the first moment where I was like, yes, this is the direction, or these are the stories that I want to share, because I think I was on the team bus coming back from a road game, and I was reading his story, and I just love how he takes us all the way back to a specific moment where he learned something or something happened to him, and then he built on it. I think those are the most interesting stories. But for Dejuan's now a up-and-coming rapper in Toronto, and honestly, I've listened to a bunch of his music, and he reminds me of the kind of energy that like J. Cole gives off. Like, he's a storyteller, and through this story alone, you could just tell his passion for storytelling and then drawing lessons from it is something that he's really good to do, and that reflects in his music. So, like he said, the path to success is not always a straight line, and you can see that in his life, from becoming a football player, getting injured, building on that, stepping away from football, now starting a new journey, something that he's passionate about. I'm excited to follow his journey. I think he's going to be a success. All right, let's get one more story in here. Okay, the next story is from my main man, Gordon White. Gordon was a football player for X. He's currently a football player for the Hamilton Tiger Cats of the CFL. So shout out Gordon. Football all started for me back in the 7th grade when I was introduced into the sport. It was something that took me out of my everyday life and let me just do something I love to do. It was something that gave me a purpose and pushed me to places I never thought I could go. It showed me what it meant to sacrifice all those long nights or early mornings on the field or in the gym grinding. It taught me the importance of doing my job well. I learned to put others first, to be a part of something bigger than myself. It strengthened me into the man I am today, and to me, you can't ask for much more. It taught me the importance of doing my job well. That sentence alone just goes to show the character of someone like Gordon, because especially in team sports, if everyone wants to be in the spotlight, if everyone wants to be the top man or woman, you're just gonna have a team that's just bumping heads. The most successful teams are the ones that find a job and do that job well, because once you put all those pieces together, it creates this bigger thing. So for Gordon to share that's something that really sticks with me, because I've had many experiences of the opposite of that on basketball teams. The guys that do their job well are the best teammates, because they don't care about the highlights, they don't care about the stats, they don't care about the fame. And I think it just goes to show, now that you see Gordon in the CFL, it's even more important for him to do his job and do his job well, because at that level, there aren't many guys that can do everything. And especially when you're playing football as a profession, coaches are looking for people that do a specific job well in order to be most successful on the team. So once again, thanks to Gordon. Best of luck to him in his CFL career. I think it's really special when you find something that you love and you can do that as a career. That's just called winning in life. So, all right, everyone, that wraps up the first episode of Undress the Stories. Let me know what you guys think of this new series and whether or not you like these sort of videos. I think this is going to be something that I really enjoy doing because I've read all the stories and I've picked out parts, and but I never really took the time to dive deep and reflect on them. I think it's going to teach me a lot, especially by going back through stories that I didn't really necessarily forget about, but it's just like reading a book. You can read a book or watch a movie many times and you'll continually pick up new things. So that's Undress the Stories. If you could please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's just going to help me continue to do what I'm doing, and the support means a lot. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.